Here are 7 steps to letting go of a resentment and old hurt. Now, most of us have struggled with resentment because they're hidden hurts that we don't really want to admit to. And they impact us, and they definitely impact our relationships in a negative way. So in this video, I'm going to give you some concrete steps in order to heal your resentments. But be sure to stay until the end because I'm going to give you a bonus tip that's going to be really, really impactful for you. But first, my name is Michelle Ferris. I'm a psychotherapist, and I love helping people create relationships that work. In this video, I'm going to share 7 steps you can take to start healing your resentments without the other person having to do anything. And that's really powerful. So the first one is I want you to write out your resentment story. The reason I'm having you do this is for 2 reasons. One, I want you to vent all your hurt and pain safely in an uncensored way. Because sometimes when we talk to other people about it, we may leave out aspects of the story because we're embarrassed or because we really don't want anyone to realize how much we're struggling. And when you put it on the page, you can say whatever you need to say. All that ugly stuff needs to come out without you having to censor or judge yourself. Because we all have these feelings that can kind of take us by surprise at times, especially the level of anger that can go in with resentment. The second reason I want you to write your resentment story is because over time, I want you to look back on it and see how much your perspective has changed. Because after you do these steps, you are going to have a different story of your resentment. And that's what's really exciting. Number 2, I want you to ask yourself, how has this resentment impacted you? Emotionally, your self-esteem, in the relationship with the person you resent? Because I guarantee there's a cost to holding on to this resentment, and we all do it. But sometimes we need to look at how it's impacting us in order for us to be willing to move forward and to do the work to give it up. Number 3, now this is a hard one. You need to be willing to look at your part and how you contributed to the situation. Now this is where the rubber meets the road because most of you are going to probably resist this, but this is the most powerful thing that's going to change the story. Because you might have said or done something before, during, or in reaction to the resentment that is actually contributing to the outcome. For instance, did you gossip in any way or badmouth the person after it happened? Did you avoid that person or give them the silent treatment? Or have you been mean to them? All of those are ways that we may be contributing negatively to the situation. And the reason this part is important is because it's going to shift the victim aspect of the story. So instead of seeing that you were the innocent victim, you're going to see that you also played a role, and that's going to help you start to develop some empathy. This is what's going to change the story. Number 4, get some trusted feedback, because if number 3, looking at your part is really difficult, this is where you want to run it past somebody you trust. Just tell them the story and say, hey, you know what? Is there anywhere that I contributed here? Do you see that? Because when we share our stories and get support, that new perspective of somebody who's also doing this work can be invaluable. And it can help us move along and see our behavior in a new way. We just have to be willing to ask for help. Number 5, put yourself in their shoes. Now, this is what's going to build empathy. Think about what was that person dealing with around the time the resentment happened. Even though they hurt you, can you understand where they were coming from or what they were trying to do? Or do you think they even had any ill intent? Maybe they were so stressed they didn't realize what they were doing. But part of why putting yourself in their shoes is so powerful is you're gonna start to understand them a bit and where they were coming from. And that is gonna greatly reduce the resentment. Number 6, I want you to use this awareness of understanding how you contributed to the outcome and putting yourself in their shoes to create a different, more neutral version of the story. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to negate your hurt or deny that you were hurt. That's I don't want you to do. But what I want you to do is not demonize the other person and make the story be so big and so negative that it consumes you. That's when it really does a lot of damage to us and our health, especially our level of stress. So what I want you to do is I want you to just create a new version of the story. And this is exactly what I help you do in my resentment journal that I'll talk about at the end. Number 7, consider any harm you may have caused in the incident. Because sometimes we have to look at any amends we may need to make by what we have said or what we have done. And again, this is not easy, and most of us, including myself, do not want to do this at first. This is okay. This is not a step you need to take immediately if you're not ready, but I want you to eventually write down what, if anything, you did that you may need to make amends for, even if it's in reaction to what happened afterwards. So maybe you didn't do anything in the actual situation, but afterwards you did. All of that contributes to the outcome. Now, here's your bonus tip. I want you to stick to the facts of what happened. We don't want to embellish the story. And unfortunately, over time, the more we tell resentment stories, the more we tend to add details that may or may not be actually true, because we hear things from what other people have said, we make judgments, assumptions about the other person, and they may not be accurate. And the problem with that is that those assumptions tend to fuel the fire. They tend to fuel that resentment and make us more angry and more justifiably hurt. And I don't want that for you. Now, if you want to do a deep dive, I have a resentment journal on healing resentments and making amends that includes a lot more detail. So I'm going to link that in the description of this post too, because if you really want to do a deeper dive, check it out. Thanks so much.